was my first favorite wrestler.
Okay.
So I was very, very like into just the high flying, like action, athleticism side of it. Got really big into him, AJ Styles,
Mm-hmm.
the Motor City Machine Guns, and that's like what I lived for. And Kurt Angle when he had his run in TNA, I mean, and WWE, but I mean TNA, like just I loved like what their product was and the way the wrestling looked over there, and I thought that was super cool. And then like most people, I did watch WWE as well. I was a big Rey Mysterio fan.
Oh, yeah, Ray.
Yeah. So they like again a lot of cruiserweight, high flying, athleticism. Those were again the things that just really got me into it. I again a big Kurt Angle fan as well. And then as my wrestling taste kind of evolved over the years, it took me a long time, but I finally branched out into independent wrestling in like
Mm-hmm.
high school, like late high school, maybe like as a senior a little bit. And then in college, I started watching like Lucha Underground and PWG, and like it exposed this whole new side of it for me, basically, where I was watching guys like, well, granted, I started watching his like Pac. I started watching his stuff like when he was first joined WWE, and then I went back and I watched his indie stuff when he was like at PWG and all these other places. And then it was like Ricochet, and then you had like Tommy End, and then you Zack Sabre Jr., and you had like that kind of era, the Young Bucks when they were starting their rise. You kind of had like that era of PWG, and I was like, this is it. This is wrestling right here. This is what all wrestling should look like right here. So that was like very much like how that's kind of like my journey of professional wrestling, I'd say.
And sorry to interject here, Mark.
No,
Tommy End. Do you know who that is in WWE?
Tommy who?
Tommy End. He goes by a different name in WWE.
No, I don't know.
Aleister Black.
Oh, okay.
That's Aleister
cool.
Black. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you're definitely into the high fly, which that's mainly like one of the things I do like. I do like all sorts of styles of wrestling, but I always do favor guys like what you mentioned. And WCW that's where I got started into wrestling, was actually WCW. Although my first favorite wrestler was Raven, completely different style, but
Right. Yeah, I think it's always interesting to have like one who kind of doesn't fit the mold. Like, I mean, like I cited Kurt Angle. Like, granted, don't get me wrong, Kurt Angle can do like moonsaults and stuff.
Yeah.
But like his Kurt Angle match doesn't have like like springboard 450s and stuff. He's not doing any of that. He's going out there wrestling people. But like you, I have different taste in wrestling. Like, I don't want every match to look like a high flying match. You gotta have a little mix of everything. Like, I would definitely watch like 8 matches of high flying wrestling, but give me like 1 or 2 like that kind of throw me for a curveball here. Give me like some technical wrestling. Give me like some striking.
Yeah. I think it's good to have a mix, and like I think even comedy could fit in there very well, depending on how you do set up your show and whatnot. Now you mentioned a couple different different types of promotions. What about ACH? Were you a fan of ACH?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Now, and sorry to bring, I watched a couple of your matches, and I noticed you do the shooting star press. Is that why you do the shooting star?
So the main reason I think I do the shooting star is because at the time, the first person I saw do it was the first person I saw do it was Billy Kidman.
Right.
But the first person who really like got me interested in it was Matt Sydal when he worked as Evan Bourne in WWE. So that was actually more of like my influence to do the move, I guess, because then like I would like play like WWE or like SmackDown versus Raw, and I would always make myself a high flyer. So I just like shooting star press. Matt Sydal does that. He's really good. So I'm gonna do shooting star press. So yeah.
Yours looks really clean, actually close to his from the videos I've seen. It's not a Billy Kidman where you think he's gonna hang himself on the rope.
Before.
There's some bad. I like Kidman. I thought he was a great wrestler, especially when when I was younger.
Yeah, He was very good, very good.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's just there's a couple times you see a shooting star pressing like, bro, you're gonna hurt yourself.
I seen a clip a while back ago. I don't know. It was more than a year ago. I seen a clip that he was talking on this thing on YouTube, and he's like he was talking about his first time doing that, and yeah, just he kind of tripped up on the whole rope, and it just kind of landed on the rope himself. You know, it's just it was first time doing it, but it just interesting, kind of funny. But he was really good at doing it once he got the hang on it.
Yeah, it's high flying. I mean, it's kind of like the commentary would always say for like WWE, like Impact and stuff. There's a reason
The
why
high
it's
risk.
high risk. Yeah, there's a reason why it's high risk. I mean, there's all
it.
kinds of things that can go wrong, and
Absolutely.
it's happened to all of us. That's the thing. Like, I mean, I've goofed it. A lot of wrestlers have. It's just that's part of it. You know, you got to kind of. It's the nature of the beast per se.
Absolutely.
When you take on like a high flying style of wrestling.
It's not ballet, as I say.
Yeah, definitely.
There, everyone that's a wrestling fan growing up always had that period of, maybe I'll do it. I instantly, when I saw Kim do the shooting star, I'm like, no, there's no chance I'm gonna ever be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean but that's the thing though. I think that's what makes you attributed to it earlier, like how there's all these different styles of wrestling and there's different avenues for it. Because there are times where you're like, are you guys familiar with Mance Warner at all?
Never heard of that name. I'm sorry.
Okay, so but he's like this character, more like he's a big character guy. He does a lot of character work, and basically like every time he walks out there, I always say, man, I could never do what he does. You know, like sometimes we get caught up in like how athletic some people are, and we're like, oh my gosh, I could never do that, or I could never do this move. But like I see guys like Mance, and I guess like on a like look at like Orange Cassidy for like AEW. You know, like I can never do that. I can never do stuff like that because it's just not in my skill set. You know, and like so that. But I think that's what makes wrestling like so unique and so fun.
Yeah, I understand that. Absolutely. There was a point in my time, about 19 years old, so I was about to get into wrestling, to wrestle school, but I'd seen these hardcore matches and then seen Shane McMahon do some things he did. I'm like, I don't know if I wanted to get involved in
that. Yeah, totally.
At one point, I was convinced Vince was trying to just kill Shane so he didn't have to give him like any inheritance. That's why he kept putting him in hardcore matches. Oh no, you'll be safe. You'll be safe. Don't worry about it.
He is always finding ways to up the ante every year. It feels like, man, he's committed. You gotta say that Shane is 100% committed.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. I think he gets some sort of rush from it. You know, some people are like all about getting the rush in one way or another. I think Shane just likes jumping off of things at this point.
He might. I mean, that seems to be the thing. He loves doing it, and I mean. Yeah, hats off to him. I mean, he's an athlete. He can do some stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I give him credit.
I talked to a guy years ago. This is not long after his match at SummerSlam against Steve Blackman for the hardcore title. He's when Shane fell off the stage, and this guy, he was friends with Shane McMahon. His wrestling guy into the conversation. I'm eating breakfast or lunch with my family, and at his restaurant, and I was like, and he's talking about that ball. I'm like, yeah, I seen that ball. I was like, yeah, it was supposed to be this. It was supposed to be a certain amount of feet high, and I guess at the last minute, Shane's because he decided to go higher up on the scale there on the stage, and he's like, he did that just for the entertainment. This is for the entertainment side, and he was hurting after that. He talked about that. He barely walked for very well for a while, but it wasn't supposed to be that high, but he decided, like I said, last minute to go higher.
Jeez, what a guy!
There was one that always sticks out to me, and this actually has to do with two people you mentioned. Was Kurt Angle and Shane McMahon at King of the Ring, where he didn't go through the glass and land on his head. You hear the conk, and I'm like, nope, none of that.
Yeah, no, he is a different animal. That is for sure.
He's be ballsy. He's got that.
Yes.
He's got that.
And relative to, like I said, looking up some things, actually there is names that I went through and saw who you faced that I recognize from Impact. Ace Austin being one of them. So how
Yep.
was it like that? How was working with him?
Oh, awesome. He's a pro. I mean, there's a reason why he's the X Division champion. I mean, he's really good, and he's a pro. It was a lot of fun, and I hope we have many more matches over the years.
He's
Because
very
he's super talented, super
he's
talented.
and he's very strong in the character work area too.
Yeah, he's the total package. He can do it all. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I've seen his work, and obviously it's so. And it's like, man, this guy's got something good. Got more time to go, and in the business as well. That's good, but he's got a bright future ahead of him as well. Definitely does.
absolutely, 100% agree.
Now is that AC Romero, the guy from Impact as well?
Yes, that would be him.
That's Triple XL, right?
Yep.
So you worked with both guys from Triple XL.
Yeah.
How was that? Because they're big guys.
Yeah. So I wrestled the AC in a fatal 4-way at AAW. And again, a total pro, super helpful. Helped me a lot after the match, just with like character work and promos, because I really struggle with promos. So he was like helping me with that, giving me some feedback, like because he was watching me cut one back there. So like that was cool that I got to have that experience with him. Then Larry is like a guy I consider like a huge mentor of mine, because I met him very early in my career at IWA Mid-South. And he's like, at the time, he was like a staple there. He was there like every week. And it was super cool to have him in the locker room, because he's a guy you can go to and he can give you honest feedback, and he's trying to like help you become like a better wrestler. And
That's awesome.
And so like Larry's awesome. I can't say enough good things about him. And throughout the time that I've known him, he's always willing to sit down and just have a conversation about wrestling and like how to get better at it.
That's
It's
awesome.
always good to have someone. It's always good to have someone in your corner that wants to better. That's it. That's
absolutely.
I seen a match today on YouTube. Oh, that's on YouTube. Was Cam? It kind of helped me out here with this guy's name. You know how I am.
Are you talking about Rohit Raju?
There you go. Thank you.
I was actually gonna ask him about Rohit Raju.
Okay,
that was a good match, man.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Thank you.
Saw a match. It was it had me interested. Definitely saw it. Oh, that's him. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, I definitely did some good work in there. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's again a lot like Larry. That was my first time meeting him that day, and it was a lot of fun. And he's just, again, ever since then, like he's just a guy I feel like we connected very well. And I'm able to message him anytime, or I can go up to him and say, hey, like, what do you think about this? Or, hey, will you watch my match and tell me what you think? And he'll give me good, honest feedback and not sugarcoat anything. He's going to tell me like what he thinks. And like, that's something that I am very appreciative of. So
that's valuable right there.
Yeah. So like
that is totally valuable.
So again, total pro, super nice guy. Love him to death. So Rohit Raju is top notch.
It's always best when you get that when you get that honest feedback. It's hard to find sometimes. Just someone straight up with you and just wants to be there to help out. So it's good to have that. Go ahead, Cam.
I was gonna say, he's, from what I've seen on Impact, he's great at the heel side of it. So I'm sure he can definitely help you with the character work there. Yeah. It was just in watching the match. I've seen you guys pull off a couple things that you don't really see too much. Like you guys did. It looked like a backslide into an arm drag. I think that's what it was.
Oh yeah, we did like a gory special.
Drag.
Yeah.
Things like that. You don't really see that too much, and that's where I watched the full match because I wanted to get an idea what kind of style you had, which is like, okay, this guy's a high flyer. But it was definitely entertaining, and it seemed like you guys were gelling there.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Again, that was the first time we had locked up, touched, or even met. But him just being so experienced and being such a professional, it was easy and it was a lot of fun.
That's
Um,
cool.
Now,